From Miller Stadium in Dover, Delaware, where the Wesley College Wolverines have defeated the Virginia-University of Lynchburg by the score of 24-7. Sean Greene alongside Jason Bowen. And Jason, a game against a team whose offensive line averaged 325 pounds. Wesley, as you might expect, had a little bit of trouble, but eventually found the answers to the riddle and picked up their fifth win.
Yeah, they had some big guys out there, the Dragons of the Virginia-University of Lynchburg, averaging probably 6'4", 6'5", 350, and they basically they pounded it out. They got an early lead with an 81-yard drive on all runs, and the Wolverines were down 7-0. But the Wesley defense overall played very well, holding them to under 200 yards total and just a couple pass completions.
You look at this VUL team, you might see a 24-7 score, and you wonder what's wrong with Wesley. Well, some of the schools represented by Lynchburg, we had Auburn, Washington State, Bowie State. I mean, you're talking top-flight schools that these players were coming down to. So, really, there's a lot of talent that had been recruited to the top levels in college football.
Yeah, a lot of great athletes on for the Dragons, and the Wolverines held their own there. They were able to get a running game going a little bit in the second half. Justin Siler was completing some passes, and they didn't eke out the win. They pulled away in the second half. The Dragons don't have a real big roster, so they were able to wear down some of those big guys in the fourth quarter and put a couple touchdowns on the board.
The go-ahead touchdown for Wesley came late in the first half. Steve Cadosu we've seen a lot of great touchdowns. One where he'll catch it and then bounce off for the defender. This one on a 3rd and 24 play just out-leaps a defender and what looked like almost like a dual possession type of play, comes down with the football, and one of his best catches as a Wolverine.
Yeah, Caduso, what can you say about that guy? He's one of the top receivers, maybe the top catch and run guy in Division III football. Very hard to tackle, and made a big play there, put the Wolverines ahead 10-7, and then they battled through the third quarter. It was a defensive struggle, but finally Wolverines able to grind it out in the fourth quarter and get a couple touchdowns and take away the win.
And it's Wesley defense. Wesley has trailed now in all 6 games, as they trailed in this game 7-0 before. It was also 7-3 before Wesley took that 10-7 lead. This Wesley defense continues to make the plays. You take away the one scoring drive for Lynchburg, that was the 16 plays and 84 yards, really clamped down, and that's been a thing for the defense this year. Sottler with a couple of interceptions, but the defense has been able to back up their quarterback.
Yeah, and a lot of fresh faces on that Wesley defense this year, and some injuries. Devin Hardy, their senior defensive end, didn't play in the second half, went down with an injury in the first half and didn't return. I didn't see Kurt Brooks out there, who had been injured in the first game against ETBU, was back last week, but was not on the field in the second half either. So some new faces in there, and the Wolverines' young defense is really coming through for them.
And we want to give a call to Diamond Ruffin, who had the interception. It was tipped by Luke McGinnis, and then the interception made by Diamond Ruffin, still a special team star, getting a chance with the linebacker situation the way it is, and he has really stepped forward.
Yeah, Diamond Ruffin, Jordan Westcott rotates in there. Luke McGinnis had another real good game for the Wolverines. Of course, Sustin Capapula led the Wolverines with tackles with 10. He was such a solid player last year as a freshman. Now as a sophomore, is stepping up and becoming one of the better linebackers in Division III, at least in the South region. So yeah, there's a lot of good things on the Wesley defense to talk about.
Well, next up for Wesley, a trip all the way across the country to Atherton, California, to Sao Palo Alto. They'll take on the Oaks of Menlo College, who were ranked number 23 in NAIA last week before they lost. They are 4-2 coming into this week's action. We'll have the pregame coverage right here on WDEL beginning at 3 o'clock, and then of course off to Huntington for that all-important 6th and final Division III game. So for Jason Bowen, my name is Sean Greene. Again, our final score here from Miller Stadium, the Wesley College Wolverines 24, Virginia-Lynchburg 7 for WDEL, and we hope to see this on D3Football.com.